gentlemen, welcome to the very first episode of the one and only Infinite Charge podcast. My name is Malachi White, and I'm accompanied by the great
Mr. Tyher Jones.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And, man, we finally doing this thing, man.
It highly anticipated. I'm ready. We both made it possible just by hard work, dedication, you know what I mean?
Right, and just seeing things through. I mean, we both are adults now, and, man, it just seemed like every time we were ready to do something, oh, man, I got this or I got that, you know, but we just had to we had to put all of those things aside for what really matters. And this is I know this is this what we're doing right now definitely falls in line with God's purpose for my life.
Of course.
Right. And
of course.
I know you feel the same way.
Of course.
So we're here now, we're doing this thing. Man, I'm just so excited about the content, but we want to give a little backstory. But anyways, before the backstory, today's message is entitled The Language of the Universe. Now, I know certain people probably saw that title and was like, oh, wow, that sounds interesting. And there are some other people who, you know, might be going into this with a certain, how do I say it? With certain expectations,
question.
Right? Yeah.
It's just, and it's simple. The answer is really simple.
It's really simple.
We're
going to get into it. But I just to set the record straight early, right? I mean, you know, usually when people start talking about the universe, right? Mm-hmm. How do people in the church usually react to that type of thing?
They think it's science. You know that they're gonna think it's science,
right?
That's what I think. They don't really look into, like, I won't say everybody in the church, but majority just think it's science and throw it off because they might not understand it.
Absolutely. Or they might just dub it as new age nonsense or whatever. But we'll really dive into that. But just a little backstory. Man, should I tell a story or should you tell the story of how we met?
Go ahead.
You want me to tell it?
Yeah, I don't even think I should just speak on it. Just tell it so we can get into this.
All right. I'm going to give an account for it, right? So, flashback to kindergarten, K5, Sister Vita's class.
Yeah.
Damn, when was this? This was 2000 and, okay. Well,
I don't know.
Okay, probably 2006, 2007 school year.
I was 4 years old.
And I was 5. Yeah. All right. I'm not even going to try and get into the math right now. But anyways, so I'm in kindergarten, right? I'm sitting at a table. And back at Imes Temple where we went to school, it's like these tables where it could be like 10 kids to a table. And then, you know, we probably had like 30 heads, right? Mm-hmm. So it was probably about three tables, maybe even 4, whatever, if it wasn't 10 exactly at the tables. But I just remember sitting at a table and the right seat was vacant. And I just remember this kid comes into the classroom and like immediately, like, I mean, he just like, I remember you coming into the classroom. You ain't say nothing to the teacher. Nah. You ain't care about what was in your way. She took his lunch bag because he's gonna bring his lunchbox with him to the table.
Open that thing right up.
Yeah. And then he pulled the chair. To my right, he pulled the chair back so fast that it scared me. I'm looking at him. I'm like, and then he sits down, and well, you didn't sit down yet, but you went back to get the lunchbox after the teacher had took it from you.
Yeah, but I did sit down. I did sit down for a little bit.
You sat down for a little bit, right?
I was doing work or something like that.
Yeah. It was dead silent.
I came in late, so
it was dead silent in the classroom. First of all, he made so much noise just to get in the chair. Okay, and then it goes back to silence while we working. And then this kid just out of nowhere just explodes, like the chair just goes flying backwards again with him in the chair this time. Yeah. I'm seeing this through my peripheral vision, right? I'm seeing this through the side of my eye. I'm like, yo, what the? And this kid gets up. He goes and gets the lunchbox from the other side of the classroom, goes back to the chair. And then he's like, this is when he finally introduces himself to me after sitting next to me for I would say a little bit less than 5 minutes. And then he's like, hi, I'm Tyher. Is it lunchtime yet? And he just opens the lunchbox, takes out this Tupperware or this like container, right? With
it was it
was like ravioli or something in it.
Beefaroni.
Yeah. And he couldn't get it open. He was struggling with it, right? I'm like, and even in my young mind, I'm like, yo, something about to go wrong.
How could you struggle with that?
I know. Then you were just struggling with it. And he was fighting with the container, and the next thing you know, boom. That junk was flying everywhere.
Yeah, all of my clothes.
And, hey, tell them about the uniform too.
My
we used to have to wear.
uniform was dirty. We was wearing what? White shirts and navy blue pants.
Yo, the shirt was cocaine white. By the time you open that Tuppermade, man, it looked like you got shot or something. I'm not gonna hold you.
But then look, and then the food was on the floor. I had picked it up and put the food back in the can.
Yeah, you weren't right. You weren't right, man.
I was embarrassed, probably, man.
Yeah, like, you wasn't right.
We was young, man.
Yeah, we were young. But long backstory, just to circle around to the fact, or just to get to the point that from that day on, kindergarten,
my brother,
we were brothers.
My brother.
From that point on. Now, as a 5-year-old, I didn't, you know what I'm saying?
We ain't really, but we brothers.
Yeah, right. Yup. And God has taken us so many different places, and there was a point in time where we weren't communicating as much, but that's because I went to a different school, he went to a different school. I mean, that's just how it is. But it circled us back here, and this is what we're doing today.
And I feel like that was meant to happen, because it feel like everything that we've been through together, all the experiences from a child, like it all connects to now. And now we really starting a podcast together. Like that's big, man. And I feel like it's all in God's hands and God's callings.
Absolutely. So, without further ado, I'm really excited to get into this one. I know you are, from the talks that we've had leading up to this. Oh, and by the way, this isn't the very first time that we recorded an episode.
Yeah, the last episode didn't go so well.
Yeah, it didn't go so well. It was natural.
No, it was good.
It's postable for sure.
The feedback.
Yeah.
It wasn't,
Yeah, but we're here today. We changed the topic. The original topic was nature of electricity, which we're gonna get back to, but today we're gonna be speaking about the
universe.
Right. The language of the universe. So before we get going, I'm gonna have you open us up in prayer, and then
All right. Let's bow our heads, close our eyes. Dear Lord, thank you for waking us up this morning, Lord. Thank you for blessing us and giving us the opportunity to spread your word, Lord. Thank you for giving us the equipment and the financials to be able to spread your word and start up this podcast in your name, Lord. Thank you for the people that's watching, the people that love me and look out for me, Lord, because I would do the same for all my brothers, all my sisters, Lord. Thank you. And I just want to say my gratitude is forever lasting, and eternal life is upon me, Lord. Whatever you have planned for me and my brother or anybody close to me, just help them understand it, that good or bad, things is going to work out, Lord. In Jesus' name, I pray, amen.
Amen. Now let's get right into this. So when you think about just that term, right, the language of the universe, what comes to your mind?
In terms of what?
Like I'm saying, like, okay, obviously we can get really deep right off the bat, but just surface level, right? Surface level, what do you think when you hear the language of the universe? Like,
I hear love, I hear laws, I hear what you put out, what you get back. That's what I hear. That's what I get off rip. The language.
And we're going to dive deep into that answer that you just gave. I wasn't expecting you to just, go right into it like that, but pretty much that's what we're going to be talking about. Love, laws, just the underpinnings of everything that's going on around us, that a lot of this stuff we can't see per se. But a surface level answer, according to Google, when you look up what is the language of the universe, and you can look this up right now. You could go to another tab. I already know that this will be in the music player, whether it's whatever service you use, whether it's Apple Podcasts or Spotify, whatever it is you're listening to this on. You can go to Google right now and look up what is the language of the universe, and Google will tell you that the language of the universe is mathematics. Which does make sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah,
it makes sense. But we're here to talk about the real language of the universe.
It's much more simple than that.
Exactly. And okay, right? According to Google, the language of the universe is mathematics. And if you think about it from how do you say this? From a certain point of view, like mathematics truly is the language of the universe when it comes to this surface level stuff, but the language of the universe when it comes to the souls that inhabit our bodies and the things we can't see is love. Mm-hmm. And to those who would rather side with that Google answer, I would say this, right? The next time your mom is fussing at you, let's say you ain't do the dishes, she called you 30 minutes before she got home, told you to take the chicken out the freezer, and you didn't take it out the freezer, and she come home and she's on that head. I want you, nah, for real. I want you to start doing math. I want you to start trying to add up some numbers and see how that go for you, and see if you can, and see if
maneuver your way through it.
Right. And see if you communicating using mathematics will calm your mother's nerves because you wouldn't take that chicken out the freezer. You know what I'm saying? Like it, is like if we just think about this, how will we really be able to, how do I say it? How will we really be able to communicate with one another based on math? I mean, it's possible to understand algorithms and to understand things, man-made things with math, but in order to understand the true essence of everything around us, the universe, to understand everything that God has made, love is the only language that will allow us to understand everything that's going on around us.
Everything else you leave to God in terms of mathematics and stuff. He created it. He created this universe the way he wanted it, designed in his name. So we just living in it.
Right. Absolutely.
So I feel like the best thing we could do is love thy neighbor as thyself. That's what I live upon, and that's what I like.
That's
pride myself on. Yeah,
that's what you form your principles around. That and that is scripture verse, but I would like to refer to that verse as universal law. That's something that no matter what you believe in, no matter what religion you may claim, no matter who you are.
I'm glad you said that.
Right.
I'm glad you said that because that's absolutely true.
Exactly.
Love is the answer to a lot of things.
Exactly. Yep, so just getting into it today. One thing that, this whole, first of all, the name of the podcast is the Infinite Charge Podcast. Yep. So I already know, like, I'm sure that there are people who are listening right now who want more context on the whole idea of electricity and we're really, trust me, we're really going to get into that. But just in context to what we're speaking on today, I truly feel like there is no energy that is more electric than love.
That's a fact. Everyone needs love.
Exactly.
No matter who. No, everyone needs love.
And when I say love, I don't mean like, hey girl, you look good, I look good, let's get right. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I mean.
Nah.
I mean like what you said, like honor, you know what I'm saying? Honor your treat your neighbors the way you want to be treated.
Yeah.
As cliche as that sounds, as as old as that saying may be, or scripture, or
it's that simple.
Law, whatever. That just building.
And there's many forms of love. Just building it, like you said, gratitude every day.
Right.
Texting somebody, being thankful. Hey, thank you for being in my life and doing this and that for me. You didn't have to do that. That's love. That's a form of love. Gratitude is so many forms of love. I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone needs to really live by that.
Exactly. And pretty much like what you said, like it doesn't have to be like, some like crazy extravagant gesture or nothing. It's the simple things like, like through prayer, instead of constantly asking God for things, right? And talking to God about all of your issues. That's cool and all, but why not start out by simply thanking him for having breath in your lungs for the day, or you know what I'm saying, clothes on your back. And
a lot of people don't know how to do that.
Exactly.
A lot of people don't understand to be grateful for what you have.
Like,
a lot of people don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
And that's why we here, because we want to teach some people, the 1% that want to learn. We going to teach y'all, and you know, we young, we 18, we teenagers, but we got some with us. And
Absolutely.
I feel like we could teach y'all some things.
Yeah.
And we could also learn from you guys.
Exactly. And just going into this thing, right? One of my biggest anxieties about just doing this is just asking myself the question, right? Mm-hmm. Why would somebody want to listen to me? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm 19, you 18. I just had to throw that out there. But I'm only 19 years old. I've accomplished some things, but
so much
as a kid, I accomplished things. I'm a young adult, and there's so much I haven't experienced, so many things I haven't done yet. It's like, even somebody who's our age, why would somebody choose to listen to me? And just getting over that. I mean, you know, man, like, I was struggling with that. You know, you were all in, and I told you about the idea, and then I just had so much drawback, you know, because that negative voice that was in my head, like, why would somebody want to listen to me? And it wasn't until through another podcast, which is the Infinite Charge not the Infinite Charge podcast, the Born to Impact podcast, Joel Murian. And he had a guest on there who was young, and he was just talking about building your platform and just being authentic, right? Authenticity pretty much is the answer to anxiety and all of these different, you know what I'm saying? That voice that's in your head. Authenticity can quiet that voice, and that's the thing. It's like, okay, if I just be myself, and you know, just go, like, God put it on my spirit and my heart, so I know I have to follow through with it, like, in order to really get to where I need to go. And just, I was like, you know, we're gonna do this thing. Cause I'd already let you know about it. I got you. He was all excited and stuff, and it was just a little bit of drawback. But point of the story is, we are here to be authentic. We're here to get vulnerable when we need to. We're here to just share what it is that God put inside of us to the world, in hopes of charging other batteries. Me and you don't have the capability of you know, just taking the battery, the charge that's in our back, and shocking the world, but by charging so many different people, and those people charging others. Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, it's something big was just created just off of, you know, just something big was created because somebody decided to share that one spark, that one shock with the next person. Yep. So that's what we just want to be authentic with this thing, man, for sure.
I agree. You hit it right on the nose.
Right. So, looking at what we have today, back to it. Man, that was like a 5-minute tangent, but whatever. Back to the content. The language of the universe. So we already established that it's love, and like I said before, right? When just thinking about the nature of electricity, there is no energy that is more electric than love. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's truly electric. And, like, even down to the point where, and science backs this, I mean, we know this is pretty much like the anatomy of the human body, right? Yeah. When you think about it, your heart operates off of electricity. Like when your heart fails you and they're using, what is it called? Oh, man. The medical majors are mad at me right now. Yeah.
Is it a respirator?
Is it?
I don't know.
Oh, man.
God bless us, though.
God bless us, man. Whatever that is that they, in the movies, that they rub together, it look like two irons, like, you know, something you iron your shirt with, those two little metal pieces. They rub them together to create a charge, and they try to jog your heart. And that, I mean, that's all the proof that we need that electricity is inside of us. Hell, electricity is everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's living. It's real life.
Yeah, but there's no energy that's more electric than love. Like, just the electricity that is within our heart, where love originates, is what keeps us alive. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when that shot goes, like when that electricity dies off, we die off. You know what I'm saying? And while just the energy of love is so electric, you know, I feel like the purest form of love is our relationship with the Creator, or should I say, God's love for us, even though we don't deserve it. You know what I'm saying? Like speak on that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like God's love, and maybe it could be how it worked in your life, or just in general, like just how God's love just works for all of us, whether we choose to recognize that or not. You know, whether we're religious or not, it's working in some way.
Well, my answer to that is very short. I feel like God already had things written out for each individual. Yeah. So good or bad, if something happened and you don't quite agree with it, I feel like it's all out of the love of God.
Right.
But he also gives you the free will to really take it how you want to.
And just the whole idea of free will in itself is love, right? Because, I mean...
exactly.
It is.
I never looked at it like that. That's a fact.
That's love, man.
That's a fact.
That's love, because at the end of the day, right, it's like, okay, let's create a scenario real quick. Like let's say if you're a parent, right, and you have a child, and that child is just, you know what I'm saying, like really like shifting your gears, like, you know what I'm saying, like you ready to whoop that ass, you feel me? But it's like, all right. And sometimes, hey, this man cracking up. We should talk about that day you got your ass beat at the school. Right at the school. That's tough love. Yo. But sometimes, right, it's like, all right. Like as a parent, right, you see your kid and they drifting, and it's like, all right, you know, I really want to set him straight right quick. But I'm gonna give him that freedom to go out and go out and you know, I'm gonna let them fall down. Cause like, you know, like, cause all right, sometimes, right,
that's good.
If you really need it, you need it. Like
exactly,
that day you got whooped, you needed it, my boy.
Yeah. You think so?
That. Yeah, I think so, man. You was wilding.
I was wilding. I pushed my mom in front of everybody. Like, yo, that's the kid behavior. That's the
yeah.
I feel like that happened for a reason.
We gotta give backstory now, though. We
got
to.
Yeah. No, bro.
We gotta give backstory, boy.
Another podcast. Another podcast.
At least tell them why you was trying to run away from your mom, though.
Yeah,
that's crazy. This man thought he was gonna run away from the whoop. Are you serious, bro? bro, when she catch you, you gonna get it even worse than you. She didn't even set out to whoop you that bad, but you had to run. Believe it or not,
when she caught me and took me to the bathroom, she didn't even whoop me no more. She just was surprised I did that. She was just like, "What are you like? What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah, and she sent you back. She sent me back to the classroom, man.
Yeah. Remember, she left, and I had to go stay in aftercare. And I thought it was cool. I was trying to hoop it off. Just hoop it off at the playground, at the blacktop. Everybody forget about that. You know, we was just hooping.
Oh, my goodness. But, yeah, man, back to the original analogy, right?
Yeah, and another thing about love I want to say.
Right.
You know, and it's been on my mental. I don't have enemies, but loving your enemy, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Loving your enemy is something that could be the answer.
Absolutely.
You know, because an enemy, I don't know for you, but an enemy for me would be motivation.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. You know, I'm not even going to lie to you. I never thought about it like that. Like, when I always heard, love thy enemies, you know, how the verse goes.
You never understood that?
Nah, I understood it. It's just, bro, you know what you just said right now? Okay, usually when I hear that verse, I think about all of those people who, you know, Because I'll be honest, I never really had like no type like an
me
enemy
either.
where I
Yeah,
butted heads
me
with the
either.
person so much. Like, you know, anybody who ever had issues with me, well, most times, like I would be able to understand the reason why.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean, it's rare to really find an enemy come out and blatantly
right.
say,
Like
I'm your enemy. You
Yeah.
gotta pick up on the certain little signs, the energies around them.
Yeah,
That's how you realize who
Yeah.
really there, who might be an enemy. You know what I mean? So I gotta watch my eye on them.
Right.
That's how you pick up on small little things. You take it to God. If it gets to that point, you take it to God, and God will show you who your enemies is. I feel like it will come to light, no matter what, regardless.
Absolutely. But like whenever I heard that verse, right, love thy enemies, I always thought about like you know, how sometimes in the superhero movies or whatever are like not the movies, more so like the cartoons and stuff, how every few episodes, here he comes, and then it's the dun dun dun, and then it's the same damn person who you fought in episode 3.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You send him back in time, but here he come. He jumped back and he's back. You know what I'm saying? And it's dun dun dun. He's back again. You know what I'm saying? Like I always thought about that. But what you just said, that just blew my mind. You said you love motivation, but that's one of your enemies. Like, yo, like, you know how real that is? You know how many people won't admit that type of thing? Like, everybody loves to search the internet and listen to podcasts and watch videos and self-help this, self-help that, instead of just understanding like, okay, I don't like this. I don't get along with the, what do you call it? Like, whatever it is that gets people out of the bed in the morning. Obviously, for some reason in my life, my relationship with that energy is complicated. And I got to work through whatever it is that's going on with me so that I can get in line with that energy and allow that energy to propel me forward. What you just said was, motivation, you view motivation as one of your enemies, but you love your enemy. And that's big. Like, bro, that's crazy. That's so crazy. Like, I didn't, you know what I'm saying? That's wild. I never thought about it like that. But as we move forward, right, it's like the world that we live in today. I'll put it to you like this, right? If the language of the universe is love, why is it that none of us are able to communicate nowadays with one another? And when I say communicate, I don't mean, okay, you speak English, I speak English, let's have a conversation. I mean, why is it so hard for people like you and me or other people to create something that is positive, right? Something that other people could feed off of, and something like, we drew inspiration from the universe to do this. And now we drew that energy from the universe to just be able to do this, and now we're putting it back out, like a little bit more amplified. You know what I'm saying? So that other people can draw from that, and then we hope, which we know will happen at some point in time. It may not be tomorrow. It may not be next week. It may not be next month. It may not be next year. It's gonna happen because this is gonna be on the internet. This stuff is gonna live forever. Yeah.
So.
But why is it so hard for us to communicate? Why is it so hard for, like what we doing right now? Like I love what I'm doing right now.
Me too.
Yeah. Like, why is it so hard
with all the technology and things of that nature?
Exactly.
All the resources we have. Why is it still difficult?
Exactly. And
I think it's just being divided.
Exactly.
I feel like we being divided each and every day.
Absolutely. And just going into this, right? I mean, man, it's like it's so hard for us to communicate, and there are a few things that we're gonna dive in deep, right? There are so many things that are keeping us from communicating with one another, and we could talk about some of these things like issues of racism, religion. Oh, that's a big one.
Religion.
Oh yeah, hey.
Don't know that.
And some of y'all churchgoers that may be listening to this, we got something for y'all too on that too. And I'm a churchgoer, you're a churchgoer, but at the end of the day, we know that sometimes more like just the religious aspect just divides people so much to a certain, like, there's some good things to it, but then there's some drawbacks, like all these customs and rules, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's another thing, but we're going to get back to that. Nationalism. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, the Olympics just happened. Obviously, it's cool for people to have pride in where they come from. I know me and you have pride from, you know what I'm saying, where we come from, whatever. But, I mean, just anything in excess, right? It just creates, it kills the authentic energy of it. You know what I mean? Like, we could bring up examples like, who are some really bad nationalists? Like, I'm not even just talking about American, like, like dictators and folks like Hitler and stuff. That's how that type of thing happens. Because those type of people, it's love, but it's not the right type of love. You know what I'm saying? It's like polluted. But nationalism is one thing. Greed, power, revenge, ego.
I feel like power, I feel like it's human nature. It's human nature to take control.
It is.
If you got the power, it's human nature to really try to make things go your way. It's literally human nature.
It is.
So I don't really blame people for that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because you get drunk with power when you in that position. I feel like everyone's going to get drunk with power. That's how I feel.
Man.
And not everyone's going to agree with you.
That is true.
No matter how bad or how deep you thinking about for everyone around you or the whole world, someone's going to disagree and they're going to have the reasons why, and that might pick up to another person, and then they might start hating you because of what this person said.
Right.
And you know what I mean?
Okay, so just based off what you said, right? My question is this. Okay, let's say people just don't agree with you, right? For some reason, they just don't get along with you, and they have their reasons, and then that person goes and maybe shares that reason with somebody else, and it's like, oh, well, you know what? I don't like the shoes he's wearing either, so, I don't care for him like that. Like, is the person who originally didn't like you that went out and recruited somebody, like, is that person wrong for not liking you just for having their own reasons? Like, what how do you feel about that?
I won't say they're wrong, but it just says a lot about themselves.
Right.
Like, it's just a reflection on how they feel about themselves, maybe.
Right.
That's what I would look. That's what I would think. That's what I would look at.
Right. Yeah. Well,
it's just a reflection.
Yeah. So talking about ego, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is so true. It is human nature to want to exploit that, to want to explore power, and it's, man, I know even in my own life that definitely was a struggle, and the thing is, right? Yeah, like power could be anything. You know what I mean? It could be, it could come from relationships. It could come from friends. It could come from, maybe God put you in a position to do something good, and he put your spirit in position to do something good, but for some reason you got out of the spirit realm and you allowed your flesh to go do the job. Like, he told you, okay, the job is over here. You need to be at the job
with your spiritual
by 9 p.m. Go report to the job with your full armor, your full spirit armor on, but you showed up as just your regular old self. Like, oh yeah, I'm ready to do this, and you still went and did it. But because you weren't armored for it, now you walk away believing that it was something you did. And I've experienced that. I remember in high school I experienced like certain things because God put me in position to be able to explore this path that I've been set out on. And at some point in time, I started to believe that it was my doing, when really the whole time it wasn't. And that blows up in your face. You know what I'm saying? How they say, like, pride comes before the downfall or whatever. Like, that it just blows up in your face. And just to talk about it, like, just ego is definitely like one of those things that kills love, because it can't exist per se. Yeah. So exploring this list, right? Because, ladies and gentlemen, we actually do have a list of things that make it harder for us to communicate. The first thing I got on this list, race. I feel like this is obvious, but like, you know what I mean? Like, what speak on it.
You want to speak on race?
Yeah, like share your piece on it, man.
I feel like you share your piece on it.
Got you. I don't share. I got you. Bailout car. Here we go. Yeah. Well, I feel like race is just, man, I don't even know. Honestly, bro, it's on the list because it's so obvious. I mean, we've just had so many. Just think about the United States of America, right? We had so many issues. And I don't even want to begin to talk about my experience as an African American young man. Like, I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I've definitely had some, like, like the little, like, I feel like what gets to me the most would be like those like little experiences, right? Where I could be in a grocery store and, you know what I'm saying, and somebody clutched the bag, or, you know what I'm saying, like that kills the vibe. Like, what if I wanted to talk to that person? What if I wanted to say hello? What if I wanted to spread love to that person? But then it's like, oh, I'm taken back, and how am I gonna communicate on a deeper level with somebody?
Communicate love.
Yeah, with somebody who is judging me and saying that I'm not worthy of their love just because of how I look.
That's deep, because that literally is gonna be the reason why America dies.
Yeah. Damn.
I'm straight up. That's gonna be the reason why, if we don't fix it, that's the reason why America will not evolve and flourish.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm gonna say about that. We gonna leave that alone.
Yeah, we'll leave that alone. That could be a whole nother episode, to be honest. And
for real.
Many people have explored that already. We'll leave that alone for right now. But just looking at what we have next, which is the biggest thing on this list, in my opinion, religion. I mean, like, man, like, just thinking about that, right? I'll be honest.
I feel like religion is like, it shouldn't be divided, because it's around one big construct, you know what I mean?
One central idea.
Yeah, one central idea, that there is a higher entity, that there is a higher power and a creator of this world, of this universe. I feel like we should be able to come together with religion, because we all believe that, humans is not the highest power here. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, we were put here from someone or something greater than us.
Right.
That created us. And I feel like religion should just be stopped right there. Everybody should agree on that.
Right.
And, Christians and Catholics shouldn't have to collide and bang. And even inside the church, just people should just accept who you are. You shouldn't have to change yourself when you in church. You shouldn't have to act a certain way when you in church. You know what I mean? If you really there for God, you will come, and you will come with a respectable approach.
Right.
And his temple or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
I feel like nobody else should be judging you but God when you step in those doors, or when you praying, or when you reading your Bible.
Exactly.
Whatever it is, whatever religion.
And this is, when we think about the universe, it's I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the first three letters, uni, that means one. We are one. You know what I'm saying? And it's like just all of these things, and religion is one of the biggest separators. And I feel like we will dive into the difference between spirituality and religion eventually.
Yeah.
But religion only turns into spirituality for anybody when that person experiences the most electric energy in the universe, which is God's love for you.
Yep.
When you experience
deep.
that's when religion turns into spirituality. I feel like I've been spiritual since I was about 11 or 12 years old. But I was religious from the time I was young, because that's what
you ain't really
I was brought up
understand
into.
it.
Yeah,
You didn't
I didn't understand that.
I understood it, but
Yeah.
like, that's what you said. That hit it right on the nose for me, man. That resonates with me.
Right. And just
That's
the whole
a fact.
and then just thinking about it, right? The whole idea of church just scares the hell out of so many people because the judgment, man, it's ridiculous.
Like they feel restricted, like they gotta do certain things or act a certain way.
Right. And then it's like, and then all these denominations. Oh, I'm Baptist. Oh, I'm Protestant. I'm this. I'm that. It's like, man, like don't we all serve the same God?
God, yep.
And it's just like it's so much that we could talk about with religion that it's so much like it undoes everything that God stands for the most part. And that's why I'm
and that's what it says that in the Bible though.
Yeah. I mean, think about like when Jesus came to earth, right? And the Pharisees, who were very religious, they despised Jesus because Jesus wasn't following no rules like that. They created those rules to keep people in line, to keep the money in their pockets, and to keep things under control. Yeah. And then here come Jesus, you know what I'm saying, with the garment on and and just performing miracles and stuff, just undoing everything that they created. That's why people sometimes call Christianity the white man's religion. Not really to get into, the race relations and all that stuff, but because at some point in time, and I'm not even talking about the white man, I'm talking about just men in general, humankind. I'm talking about us as people, our flesh. At some point in time, we decided to take something that was so pure and inject our own biases into it. I mean, think about like during election time. Everybody's trying to assign God to a certain political party. I'm here to tell y'all, Jesus was not Democrat or Republican, so don't listen to that person that's saying, oh, well, I woke up this morning and, something told me that this one's going to win, or, you know why I did that voice? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, why are we taking something that's so pure and assigning it just kills the language, man. It kills the true language of it. It's like these people who are supposed to be teaching people the language are teaching them some other language that is completely wrong and it's confusing.
It's been like that, man. Like,
you're right.
It's down to the roots.
You're right.
It's really down to the roots, man.
Absolutely. So we will be revisiting religion versus spirituality at some point in time on this podcast for another episode. But just looking at the next thing we have on the list, nationalism. I think we talked about that.
We could talk about
but we can't.
Greed.
Yeah. We talk about
revenge.
Greed. Right.
We talked about power.
So greed, right? Obviously, I mean, it just has a negative connotation.
Greed,
like, Like, I feel like you hit it on the nose earlier when you were talking about ego. Greed falls in the line with that.
I feel like I'm not even gonna lie right here, and I'm gonna be straight up.
Right.
I'm at a point of life where I still don't understand fully greed. You know what I mean? I don't understand it.
I mean, that does make sense.
Like, I don't fully understand it. You know what I mean? Because I haven't really been in that position where I'm able to get something I wanted my whole life or this and that, or like, you know what I mean? Because greed comes from getting too much of something.
Right.
Wanting more. I never really got to that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I could really speak on greed, like, just from a basic point of view, like it's bad and we shouldn't be greedy.
But I'm a believer. You never had enough.
You
never had enough to be greedy.
I never had enough power or anything to be greedy. That's exactly what I'm saying. But I feel like me personally is about spreading.
Right.
So I know when God blesses me with something, I have to bless somebody else.
Right.
That's just because it's God's calling, and that's what makes me feel good. Knowing somebody else is good.
Right.
Knowing I made somebody else's day truly brings me happiness.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, you're absolutely right. And I can agree with that. I never really felt like I was in a position that I had so much that I was being greedy, but even just looking on a smaller scale.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of your parents.
Right. But think about
trying nickel and dime and trying to get, right. Let me get this for Christmas and this, or anything, like, yeah, But we talking about a deeper level of greed.
Right.
I never really experienced that, so I can't say. And I can't say why people do it.
But I'll tell you this. I mean, I talked about earlier, right, how I told you about the idea, like, yo, let's start the podcast, whatever, and you all for it. And I'm like, I'm there, but I'm not there. You know what I'm saying? Because I am allowing my fleshly feelings and insecurities to suppress what was on my spirit. You know what I'm saying? To bury my spirit in me so that I could feel like a regular person. Like, not saying that I'm not a regular person, but so I could feel all of those human insecurities and whatever. Yeah. And that would have been greedy for me to just sit there in my flesh and be like, you know what? Like, I told you we was gonna do the podcast. You know, we're gonna, you know, we could create this energy and share with people this energy that we feel like we have, that we could put it out there, share with people. I know I said all of that, but you know what I'm saying? I don't know if I really want to put myself out there like that. So I'm just gonna keep all of the resources, or whatever resources that I feel that I could share with other people. I'm gonna keep that to myself because I don't wanna put myself out there like that. That's greed, man. That's greed. You may not look at it like that. Burying talents.
I ain't look at it like that.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
man,
lie.
that's greed.
What that is.
That's greed, man. Because you taking a pure form of energy that you know you only have it because, like, I feel like my purpose, realistically, is to just deliver God's message. My name means messenger, right? And to just impact people. I feel like that's what my purpose is. But, you know, I could suppress that energy and create enough impact for myself. You know, I could do things for myself. But that's greed, man. That is. You know, not giving of yourself just because you're afraid of who might accept it and who won't. I mean, that's greed, man.
Yeah, and I hope you prayed on that and you've been working on that for that to never ever get in your way again.
Well, hey, this is a testament that something's working because we're doing this thing.
Doing it, yep.
It ain't perfect. You know what I'm saying?
It's
but we're
our
doing
first
this
episode,
thing for real.
ladies and gentlemen. So
yeah,
we trying to do our best.
Yeah, and we're only gonna get better. Yeah. Only gonna get better. Yeah, so
you can talk about revenge.
Revenge, man.
Revenge is
man.
That's big, man. I experienced revenge for a long time. Revenge has been motivating me to do the things I do, and it got done, but it got done for the wrong reasons, cause out of revenge.
Right. Yeah, so I mean,
revenge is. I don't want to say it's a gift, but I want to say it's a kind of. I don't know, man. I want to say it's a gift and a curse, but I don't really know.
I know where you're going.
Like, you know what I mean? Because I feel like revenge, a lot of doubters and stuff like that, revenge is literally why people is in the position they in now.
You know when revenge becomes an issue? When you just getting, how do I say it? When you just returning that energy that I told you so energy to somebody.
Dark energy.
Yeah, when it just becomes about you returning that I told you so energy to somebody, nobody else benefits, because at that point it's just mental warfare between you and that person. So how are you gonna impact the world when you're stuck in a tunnel with you and that person? When you could do the craziest thing
way
ever.
Brighter than that.
Right. You could do the craziest thing ever. Just just to, like, you know, like, let's say you could do something amazing. Like, okay, let's say somebody talk down on you and, you know, say, oh, you in the sports or whatever, and they say you'll never be anything, but you end up becoming an Olympian just to prove that person wrong. And let's say you know, when you accomplish these things, the platform, people will listen to what you're saying. And if you're just giving that I told you so energy back to the person who, you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah, but then I get what you're saying. You're absolutely right. But then it's like some people need that to look at Michael Jordan. His whole career was based off basically revenge.
You're right.
Oh, you picked that kid over me in high school? All right.
But that's
roommate in UNC.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too much in basketball, but his roommate in UNC was the player of the year or something.
Right.
Oh, Michael Jordan said he hasn't seen me yet. His coach started him over, you know what I mean? Michael Jordan.
Yeah. You know what I mean, right?
Michael Jordan really was a beast, Yeah. Like, he'll tell you, I'm about to get 50 on you just because you ain't speak to me and you walk right past me. He gave Larry Brown, or whoever his coach was, 50.
Larry Brown?
I mean, was George Karl, my bad.
Oh, George
Karl. He gave him 50.
Listen, Michael Jordan, there aren't many people walking this earth like Michael Jordan. I'm going to tell you that right now.
50 because he ain't speak. That's crazy.
That is crazy. I really could. Bro, you really baiting me right now because you know I really could. We could go full-fledged ESPN First Take right now if we really wanted to, but this is not what it's about. But, man, you're right. Michael Jordan is different, but my response to that would be this, right? I mean, Michael Jordan, he allowed, like, okay, it's different. Like, when I was speaking on, you stuck in a tunnel with that one person trying to prove them wrong. Michael Jordan brought people into that tunnel. He brought so many different people. He created that in his head. He didn't hate these people in particular. I don't think he hated them.
I think he did.
You think he did?
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
I think he did, bro. He when you look back at his Hall of Fame speech,
right,
he was just talking about straight revenge.
You're right. But all I would say is this, right? Obviously, Michael Jordan's impact is just insane, right? But if you took basketball player out of his resume, and that's gonna piss a lot of people off that I said that, because that's like blasphemy what I just said. But if you take basketball player out of his resume, what's left? You know what I'm saying? Think about that. Like, obviously, he used dark energy to propel him forward, which is fun. I mean, not everything is gonna be rainbows and unicorns. You know what I'm saying?
Though.
Even
baseball or
and he's still doing it,
ping pong.
Yeah.
Golf.
But I'll be honest with you though, I don't think there's nobody else like Michael Jordan walking on this earth. So it's kind of you know what I'm saying? Like, we kind of doing anybody a disservice to compare Michael Jordan to just, you know what I'm saying? Like your average, because the thing is, right? He was just born different like that, man. That's crazy. Some of them stories that came out in The Last Dance is just like, yo, crazy. What in the world? Yo, what is this dude eating in the morning, bro? For real, like. Well, that could be an episode in itself, but yeah, man. I think just getting back to like where we were, revenge is like, oh man, you ever thought about that verse, right? To turn the other cheek, like, bro, I remember we learned that in school, and I was looking at the teacher like, yo,
right?
Ain't no way.
That,
yeah,
my sister Sharon had us slap, like had the girls slap us.
You know what?
And we had to turn the other cheek just to practice
son,
that.
We could talk about that, but that school's still open, so we don't even want to.
I'm being real federal.
Yo, I remember just that lesson. I'm like, yo, slap somebody. What the? Yo, if somebody smacked me in the face, like, you telling me to turn so that they could smack me in the other side of my face? Like, I still don't get that, but at the end of the day, I know that revenge is good to a certain point, but then once it goes into excess,
it gets you in a dark state. It gets you in a dark state, and you don't really want to be in that for it.
And I think that kind of happened to Michael Jordan, and it blessed all of the basketball fans of the world, because it's like, wow, like watching somebody do that.
Yeah, now
but
I could.
When you take basketball away from Michael Jordan, right? He still has all of this pent up energy from the time he was a child. And he's doing and it leads to pettiness. That's what when you can't express that revenge in a positive nature, it leads to pettiness, it leads to resentment, and then next thing you know, you could have all the money in the world, sold billions of dollars worth of sneakers, and you still could be unhappy. You know what I'm saying? And that's really what I'm trying to get at. Like, just revenge in excess could just. It kills the language of love, man.
I think you should be looking for bliss.
Yeah.
Bliss.
Yeah.
Peace.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, man. I mean, it just kills the language of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So that is the language of the universe. It's love. I hope that the examples that we were able to provide in the context that we were able to give to the topic in general blessed you if you listen. If you listen the whole time, thank you so much. You truly are in the 1%.
Thank you.
We love you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yep. So without further ado, we will be closing this thing out.
Yeah.
This is, like I said, we will be back next Sunday. We'll be back every Sunday except for the last Sunday of the month because we don't want to run into burnout so early on in the game. We want to take that time to just relax and think about how we want to attack the next month.
We just trying to be here for a couple years.
Yeah, man. We trying to do this thing for as long as we can.
I thank everybody that is listening.
Right.
Just taking the time out just to click. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We need you guys, and we would love to have some of you guys on the show.
Absolutely.
We open to everything. You know,
Absolutely.
we want to learn just as much as you guys are, the 1%.
And to all who listen to this to the very end, if you would like to talk more with me or Ty about the topic, or if you want to talk about anything, it don't gotta be about anything spiritual. It don't gotta be about anything. Yeah, it could be something you disagree with. It could be anything. We are willing to conversate. We are willing to be there for somebody who just needs somebody to talk to. Because if we aren't willing to do that, then why did we even just sit here and just hook up all this equipment and talk for 57 minutes right now? So this is really what it's about. You can reach me on Instagram at Malachi White with the E's at 3. I haven't been the most active, but I will be more active just because it falls in line with the work that God has me doing, which I don't view it as work, but this passion project that we're taking on with this podcast, it falls in line with it, and I'm willing to be online to conversate with anybody who listens. And where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram. They know. Ty.
Absolutely. Yup. So this has been the language of the universe. We hope that you've been blessed by our message. Be easy, stay charged,
and most importantly, stay blessed, man.